Hello and welcome to the Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thaplial and today we have a power-packed show for you where we'll be talking about how can you take care of your finances, and in that also we are focusing on scams related to your PAN cards. More details coming up ahead, but on this show today we will also be answering your mutual fund portfolio queries. Just in case you're watching the show live and want to send across your queries, you can do that on our WhatsApp number 865-797-4571 and our email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. So a great lineup of content where we're focusing on cybersecurity issues or scam related issues, and we'll be also answering your financial portfolio queries up ahead on the show. But then before that, headlines of the hour. All right, so before we go on over there, let's begin the show today and let's talk about the PAN card scam that we are focusing on. So a major PAN card misuse scam is likely unfolding across the country. Quite a few cases of this scam have already been reported from various places. Just to give you an example, a senior citizen and homemaker from Mumbai had to escalate her case to the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal due to alleged misuse of her PAN. A tax officer claimed she had sold a property worth rupees 1.3 crore in 2010-11, treating it as her income. Now, being illiterate and a cancer patient, she could not respond to the notices. At a recent ITAT hearing, her counsel argued that her PAN had been misused in the property registration. So the tribunal observed the tax officer had not conducted an independent investigation such as obtaining details from the property registrar and the buyer. Now, this incident is not a unique one. Across India, there have been multiple reports of PAN misuse, and what's noticeable here, fraudsters often target vulnerable groups such as the deceased, senior citizens, farmers and students. So let's decode the PAN card scam, and for that I have with me Ritesh Bhatia, Cybercrime Investigator and Cybersecurity Consultant. Ritesh, hi, good evening and welcome to the show. Ritesh, I'm sure this kind of a case is not new for you. You must have heard about it. You must have solved a lot of cases. But PAN card, which is supposed to be one of the most important documents that you have with you, the very important ID proof that you have. These scams are of various kind, especially scams related to the deceased people. So there are shopkeepers who've got an IT notice, of 12 to 13 crores. Some person had got an IT notice for the deceased mother. What is happening with the PAN card scams, and how are these details out there? I mean, I know a lot of PAN card and other details are out on the dark web. We've discussed this a lot of times on the show as well. But how is it backfiring now, and how is it a cause of people becoming a victim of such scams? Ritesh.
Yeah. Hi, Kavita. Once again, many thanks for doing this particular segment and especially focusing on PAN cards. So just the way the government has masked the Aadhaar card, I think it's time that they start doing something like this. But I'm not too sure if this will be like really helpful because our PAN cards. I mean, even the number is all out in open as such, whether it is due to the breaches or whether whenever we have given it at several places also. So the scams are also of different type. Like you told me about this particular lady, this case actually happened 10 years back. And like you said, there have been cases of the deceased people also. So a lot of when people have died, they've expired, and there are these elements who are using the PAN cards of these deceased people to their benefit. The other way is what is happening is over there is you must be getting okay, do your KYC, and you're getting so many links as such, you're getting so many messages on WhatsApp and on SMSs that it needs to be linked and all those kind of things. And that is the time when you are actually uploading your PAN information up over there. And with which, what is there is a big database out over there with all these elements, the cyber criminals who are now trying to misuse it also. This is not all, Kavita. Even when we are handing over a PAN card to people, we are just blindly signing on the photocopy that we got. Ideally, what we are supposed to do, and this should be made mandatory also, that firstly we cross out the remaining white spaces and we just we write a note with our own handwriting that this is used only for, let's say, for this particular bank for account opening. That's it. Again, many people will argue that this can be again photoshopped or it could be removed as such, but this is the least that you're doing from your end. But it's a big wake up call even for the government, and the income tax department, who really need to now start looking into this, because our PAN is like now linked to Aadhaar is linked to so many services. So, now these are not like all in different silos. Earlier, they used to be in different silos but not connected. Now, they may be in different silos, but they are all connected. And one leak of one impacts the other. So it's important that the government also now steps in, and it has like a two-factor authentication. Even when you are like submitting your PAN, there needs to be like, whenever somebody needs to use the PAN information, the OTP also should be there, or some second factor authentication needs to be done. Otherwise, we will really see a disaster happening in the world of cybercrimes. Kavita.
Yeah, I mean, totally. We are talking about a PAN card database, Ritesh, which is more than 70 crores. And, the linking of Aadhaar and PAN was actually brought because of, to stop the misuse and to prevent the misuse of PAN and these crucial details. Now, the aspect I want to understand is, since we are seeing a lot of cases which are related to the deceased, how can you deactivate your PAN card? I mean, a lot of times these things are missed, even by the people who are responsible to carry forward these kind of formalities after the person has died. So is there a process? Should you be deactivating your PAN card, and doing that, will doing this help you deactivate the PAN card or stop these kind of scams?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it can. It will definitely stop these kind of scams. At least the onus will not be there on you. But again, now the system needs to be integrated, and that's the reason. Like the way you have something related to your birth certificate and you have your death certificate, I think there is a notification that should go to the income tax department or to the department that is the looking after the PAN, and then they should flag it. I wouldn't be saying that okay, it needs to be deactivated, but it should be like flagged. Okay, this person is now deceased. So anytime wherever there is this particular PAN card is being produced, also what will happen, an alert will go to this department, and the department can come back, let's say like in the case of this particular lady or the shopkeeper, that your PAN was being used. Was this you? Because we also come to know that somebody is deceased, so the kin or somebody else should be alerted, and this particular kin can then say, no, sorry, we don't know what is this all about. And then the government, it will become very easy for the government then to go to that particular property or registrar's office and find out who was trying to misuse this. So you're just trying to, with one stone, trying to kill two birds at the time. You're saving this particular person from all the legal hassles. In any case, the person is deceased, but you're saving the kin also over here. But at the same time, you're also trying to send a strong message that if something like this happens, we are over here and you're committing a crime, because this is a serious crime. So I think with all the technology, we've been talking about a digital revolution. So I think this is something that needs to be done on topmost priority. Especially, please enable the two-factor authentication is what my suggestion to the government would be. And also, like the way you have masked Aadhaar cards, I think this is something that you need to do. You just need to have
Right.
your mask PAN cards also now, the
Right,
new ones
right,
at
right.
least.
Right, and a lot of concerns have been raised by the regulator, and even we've seen CBDT coming ahead and saying that you should refrain from sharing your PAN card details, especially at the places where it's not mandated by the government. But there's still lack of awareness, and how do you actually figure out where you should be sharing your PAN card details, and where it should be restricted? It's quite difficult for a layman to understand, since most of the crucial decisions, whether it is financial decision that you want to take, you want to do an investment, retirement or you are enrolling for a health insurance policy, for example, these things need your PAN card details. So if you could just help us understand the areas where it is important, but then again, wherever you share, it is not ensured that your data or your details are going to be safe. There is a lapse of infrastructure even from their end where these details are mandatory and you have to share, Ritesh.
Yes, we have to share. We can't say no. So let's say even today, if I say, okay, if you're checking out in a hotel, don't share your PAN card. Instead, use your driver's license. And in any case, so there are still some hotels which say, okay, fine. If the husband and wife are coming, even if you have one person with the address proof, for the other person, the PAN card would do. I would say, please refrain from that. It's best just to give your driver license. I'm not even a big fan of advocating that you should also share your Aadhaar over there. Like if you have your driver license, then you always give that as a first preference. But wherever other places also you're giving the PAN, I think it's extremely important, as you rightly said. It is the onus is on these intermediaries. The onus is on these banks or the insurance companies or whoever is taking that to secure it. They have been taking it very lightly, and every time there is a data breach, there is just no action, there is just no penalty. But thankfully, with the new Digital Personal Protection Data Act, we will see some very stringent things, some very stringent penalties also happening. So probably that would be a great thing. But in the meantime, I think we need to ensure, what we need to do it is that the moment if there is somebody who's deceased or they feel they no longer need the PAN because they're not working or whatever, please inform the concerned department, the income tax department, inform your bank also. Then secondly, we also have this AIS thing on the income tax website. I think you need to talk to your chartered accountant and tell him, please keep a watch on it. In fact, chartered accountant should now provide this as a service. It should be like kind of made mandatory. It should be made mandatory, wherein they are now checking it every once in 2 months and sending it across to you. So I think this is something that's very important. And lastly, never ever forget to check your CIBIL report. I'm not saying about the CIBIL score. Your score may be 800, 850, whatever it is, but the report, because the report really gives if somebody's taking some loan or something like that. So this would be helpful if you do that.
Exactly. It's very important to highlight if you find something very unusual out there. But it's time up on this segment for this discussion. Thank you so much, Ritesh, for being on the show and helping our viewers understand this particular scam and how can they carry the right way ahead in using their PAN card. Thank you so much. We will slip into a short break, but then post that, let's get your mutual fund portfolio queries answered by Pankaj Matpal after this break.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.